Hello, everybody.
Hello, everyone.
We got a lag. Should be live by now. Why is it not on yet? Oh, here we go. Here we go. Hello, everybody. Yeah. Hello, everybody.
Good evening, everyone.
Hello, everyone.
This is my son, Tucker. A lag. Should be live by now. Why is it not on yet? Oh, I got to cut the sound. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay. So, hello, Dragon Lair, Cody Son, Big D, Buddy. No more. They're all gone. Hi, Big D. Hi, Anthony. Hi, Sean. Hi, Muppet. And Candy. You met Candy before.
Hey, Candy.
Matthew, hi. Deadlocked, hi.
Hi, Merkel.
GRB, hi. Scott, hi. Hello, Holly.
Holly, pleased to meet you.
Teresa, hi.
Hello there, Teresa.
Frank, hi. Hi, Fishy Fun. Is Deadlocked one of your friends? I haven't seen them in here before.
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know any of my friends.
Hi, Reels. You don't know any of your friends?
No, I barely know me.
Deadlock says Tucker is Punchy, your daughter. Hi, John Larson. And everybody coming in, this is my son, Tucker.
I'm the good-looking child.
Sand Crick, hi. So, I'm sure people have questions. They've been waiting to ask somebody in my family, but we aren't going to do those. No, just kidding. Hi, Ro. First off, I'll show you what I got drawn to give away tonight. Hi, Science Gal. This is not a very good drawing, but there's always one I don't like. This is a snake, and I'm probably going to revisit it at some point because I don't really like how I did it. If you can see it, but I'll give it away tonight anyway. Because Dragon Lair's been asking me to do a snake. But I don't like how it turned out, so I'll probably redo it.
That sounds about right. Oh,
yeah.
Look, I drew this snake. The rest of us are just drawing squiggly lines like, oh, that's a snake.
And a chickadee. There it is.
Hello, Zen Ginger.
Hi, Zanny. Hi, Ginger Graves. Hi, Chicklets. Chicklets 23. I call them Chicklets. It's a rule. You have to call them Chicklets. Hi, Jesse. And hi, Marizi. And then I've got this. These are some young elk. Some elk calves. Hi, Nathan. And that's what I'm going to give away tonight. It's 3 of them. Yeah, it's Dragon Lair's snake, but I don't like how it turned out, so I'm probably going to do it again. And while I'm on the subject, Jennifer, hi.
I know that one. That's one of my friends.
Okay. Hit the subscribe button while you're here, Jennifer.
Make my mom some cash.
Yes. Hi, Vanoski. Hi, Thirsty. How are you? So, I don't know what to talk about now. Hi, Aquamate.
This is the entire live stream, just saying hello to people.
Except I did do something different this week that I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys about. On my Patreon, I added, hi, Catfish Terry. I added a $5 tier. And at the $5 tier, you'll get one of these little drawings every 3 months. So I decided, because somebody mentioned it last week why I didn't have a $5 tier. So I decided to go ahead and add a $5 tier where you get one of these drawings. Now, I have some people on the $5 tier already, and I cannot go back and make, go retroactive on it because it'd just be too many to try to do. But I'm going to send every one of you like one in the next week. The people that are already on the $5 tier. So anyway, I thought I would announce that during the stream tonight. And somebody asked, what's in the tank behind you, Tucker?
I've got one
Leslie?
vicious angelfish and a slew of different kinds of tetras. It's kind of become my rescue tank over time. So there's like 2 X-ray tetras. There's 1 Colombian rainbow tetra left because the angelfish ate the eye of the other one and he slowly declined. I think there's a couple of like regular neon tetras in there. Just a kind of a handful of whatever is faster than the large angelfish.
Hi, Nathan Fishboy and Dr. Black and Gina French. And I don't know who else I missed. Okay, Holly Gibbs says, what's it like to have such a famous artist for your mother, Tucker?
Well, for one, when I hear Mother Tucker, that's not the first thing I think of.
Yes, there you go.
It's pretty good, except for I find myself not doing a lot of artwork anymore, both because I just lack the time, and then every once in a while I'll go to draw something. I have Mom's artwork hanging up around me in my house, and I'm like, oh, why did I even bother?
That's not nice.
But I show off all of her stuff to my coworkers relentlessly. I've got her artwork up at my job on my computer. Mom, I gotta say, I'm really digging the bow tie.
You like that? Actually, it's Mickey Mouse ears.
Oh, it's dark. I couldn't see it in the background.
Yeah.
It's very fancy.
Yes, I know. I get all dressed up for these things, So any other questions? Because I should have written down Well, I don't really have any questions for him. How many tanks do you have, Tucker?
Oh, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 active tanks right now. I used to have 11, but I slowly kind of condensed them, and I gave some of my betas away. It was too many, and my wife was threatening to shave my beard off and strangle me with it if I got any more. So I've got my 1 large tank behind me with my angelfish. I have another large tank that has an angelfish, but the crowning glory of that tank is a Chinese ropefish named Jormungandr that I almost never see because it's heavily planted and loves to hide. And I have a couple of small micro tanks that have like shrimp and some dwarf gouramis, things of that nature. My favorite fish store here in town is shut down due to the COVIDs, and so I can't really get anything fancy right now.
Yeah, in the mail, I won't send anything in the mail right now because like I sent some artwork out last week and some of it still hasn't even gotten there yet. The mail is not reliable right now.
And no, I can't lose the beard. I look like a giant 11-year-old. There's not even a chin under here. I haven't seen one in more than 20 years.
Where does Pam's son live?
Billings, Montana, unfortunately. And as far as what it's like getting in trouble with Punchie, honestly, we used to fake tears a lot as kids because she'd pull out the wooden spoon because, like, oh, you're in so much trouble and whatnot, and she'd paddle us, and it was nothing. It was like getting hit with a feather duster. So the whole trick is to cry so that there was less likely she would tell Dad about it when he got home. Mom was probably too easygoing, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I'm not very mean. No, he doesn't have any good stories.
I have several very good stories. about her,
No, he doesn't have any good stories about me.
but I don't want to get her channel demonetized. And also, there's some things that are still illegal in Wyoming, if I recall correctly.
I've told him about the oregano.
Yeah, I have her old rolling tin up on in my kitchen behind me. How long have I been working on the beard? Oh, I mean, I've had a full beard since I was like 16. I just trim it here and there. It gets a little bit shaggy at the ends, and got to trim it down a bit.
Candy says you have great stories.
Have you told?
Sean says you can email the stories to me. No, Sean.
Yeah,
No,
way to get past the Patreon fee and bribe her out of some artwork.
And somebody wanted to know if you noticed my cup. This is my famous cup that I use in my live streams. See, it says "Have a nice day." I watch when I tip it. Everybody likes my cup.
That's a good cup.
Yes. I didn't have that many fish tanks when Tucker was growing up. I used to have a lot of goldfish for a while. Remember when the goldfish tank broke on Jessica's birthday party?
Yes, mostly I remember the bee fish.
Oh yeah, the bee
My
fish.
favorite.
That's right.
And-
we do have a bee fish.
Yeah, and the fish tanks weren't the only of the pets. Like, I grew up dirt poor, and I didn't know it until I was older that other kids don't go out and like steal potatoes from local farms and such.
We didn't
I just
do
thought
that.
that's what I did. But I'll say this for my parents. They always made sure that we had animals. We had birds, we had cockatiels, parakeets, we had fish tanks. My little sister had a ton of, those little squeaky
Guinea pigs.
guinea pigs. Yeah.
We raised them and sold them to the pet stores.
Yeah. And we had rabbits and pigeons and ducks and guinea hens and chickens and a pony for Christmas one year, which was amazing. And I always had lizards and turtles. So grew up festooned with animals, as it were. A veritable menagerie.
Yep. Remember that? What was that lizard that you had that flared out its neck?
Emerald tree lizard.
Remember when the cockatiel was hopping across the floor and started spreading out his wings to scare him, and the lizard hit the glass with his
Oh,
neck
yeah.
flared out.
Flared up like a
Scared the crap out of the
right at the edge of
cockatiel.
the tank. Jake from that day on would he'd just make a big semicircle around that area of the living room. He'd never go near that tank again.
Yep. The reason that he did that is because it was before you got the lizard, it was like a 2-tier rack.
Yeah, we had the
On the
bass
top
over
rack
there.
was the bee fish, which was a bass, but I taught the kids to call it a bee fish because it's illegal to have a bass. And I didn't want them to call it a bass when they were talking about it at school, so we call it the bee fish.
And we fed it frogs and feeder goldfish.
Yep.
That thing was neat.
But a lot of frogs, because we'd get a lot of frogs in the wintertime. They'd come up through the pipes and they'd be all over the house, so we'd feed them to the bee fish. But the cockatiel used to sit on the rim of the bee fish's tank and spread its wings out and cock its head and just watch the bass, because the bass would duck down underneath the rocks. And the cockatiel thought it was like a good game. So he was going to try that with that new lizard, but it didn't exactly work out.
That cockatiel drove that poor fish to suicide, if I recall correctly. He got out of the tank one time. We got back from Moses Lake, and he was a crispy dried fish on the carpet.
Yep, we lost him. And we had him about 2.5 years or something like that. And then he jumped out one day.
I maintain it was that bird's fault doing the predator flare.
Could be.
My favorite tank that you ever had, though, was when we had that 100-gallon tank down in the canyon, and we put all the 5 grass carp, half a dozen perch,
Oh yeah, yeah, and
2 bluegills and 3 pumpkin seeds.
the pumpkin
That's the main
seeds were. I still wish I could get some pumpkin seeds. I'd start up a tank just for them.
Oh, they're so beautiful. I prefer bluegills, but that's because I like the color more.
Yeah, but the pumpkin seeds were really cool looking though.
They were. Put up a hell of a fight too when you're catching them.
Yep.
But that was my favorite tank because it was very natural looking. It was very well balanced.
And then the kids were always in 4-H, and we always had to do their horses because we always had horses. So they'd do their horses in 4-H, and then let's see, you did goats and ducks,
And
what else did you have?
I don't think Courtney ever showed the guinea pigs.
Yeah, she did.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Mhm.
I mostly remember the pygmy goats because that's what I did. I had Bunny, Gadget, and Gizmo and whatnot, and we did art. We did the pigeons that one year, and then they got out. I learned how to hypnotize chicken in 4-H, a skill I've used many times in my adult life. We did sheep for a while. God, I hate sheep.
I think you did the hogs one year too.
Yeah, they were rough.
Yeah. Yeah, the pumpkin seeds are pretty. Hi, Big J.
Yeah, we used to get them infrequently up on in the like Red Rock, lower Red Rock Lake and whatnot. They weren't as common to catch as perch or bass, but every once in a while you get bluegill or pumpkin seed up there, and they were really pretty, and they'd be like the size of my hand, and they fought like a holy.
Oh yeah, they put up a good fight. Good fight. Chappie says Big J had the reason Chappie said that, he says, have you seen any male members other than yours lately? It's because Big J was doing a live stream and he just had like an open panel, and this guy that none of us knew asked if he could come up, and he came up on the panel and was talking for a little bit and then whipped himself out. Yeah,
that sounds about right. That's the amazing thing about the internet is you can't open up another like web browser without tripping over 3 unsolicited dick pics.
Yep. Oh my God, they had I was reading the news the other day because I don't have a TV, so I like read it or watch it on YouTube's. But anyway, the mayor of New York City opened up a website basically for people to turn each other in. Like you could send pictures of people not following the 6-foot distancing thing. Send pictures and tell where they were at, and they would go break it up, right? As soon as he opened up the website, it was instantly flooded with dick pics.
I mean, really, at the end of the day, most people just are ambulatory dick pics.
Yes.
I always make it a point to send people periodic pictures of Dick Van Dyke, captioned with unsolicited dick pic.
There you go. Yep.
Aqua balls.
Yeah, he's aqua balls because he has ball pythons and tanks.
And you have ball-like goldfish.
Yes, I do.
I was never a big fan of goldfish, I'll be completely honest.
I always liked them.
I keep telling myself I want to set up one of the tank for them, but I like my tropical tanks.
Yeah. I like them all.
Oh, Ginger Graves. That's the worst.
It is. Yeah, Zen Ginger sent me duck pics.
Sounds about right.
Yes.
Sent a few angry mallards in my time. I'm only half paying attention to chat. I just glance down. It's like, and sometimes when it's hot outside and he sits on the toilet, and I'm just immediately like, oh.
I'm actually looking at Chappie's comment, trying to figure out exactly what he's talking about.
Clearly, he's talking about aquatic balls.
Ah, okay. Well, yeah, that would work.
You know, they hang low, dip a little bit in the water. It's always a nice way to wake up on a Sunday.
Hang on just a second. Okay, any other questions?
People got to stop sending their wild animals to my mother.
Yep. Oh, darn it. I'm trying to open up my PayPal so I can thank anybody if anybody donates anything. And
Jen wants to know if you have a marketplace on any particular site.
the marketplace, no. I have with my artwork. With my artwork, I posted it on Patreon first and then on Facebook. And usually I sell it. If I don't, then it just kind of sits here for a while. Chappie, Chappie's telling on me. He says, your mom likes Fireball. Do you? I usually, I don't tonight, but I usually have a bottle of Fireball and I add it to my coffee.
I am more of a Goldschlager person.
Fireball and coffee is pretty good.
I like Goldschlager because it makes me feel like I'm worth something after I drink it. Get a little bit of the gold flakes in there, you know?
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, as long as you don't do the bleach shit.
Yeah, no.
And 307 Wyoming wants to know where you grew up at.
I haven't yet. But the moment I do, I will let you know.
Hi, Chief.
We lived in Central Washington for most of my youth, and then I moved to Oregon and did a lot of things that I'm not so proud of. Eventually moved to Montana, then was homeless, then back to Oregon, then almost homeless again, and now I'm back in Montana. It's been quite the roller coaster.
See, started out when you kids were little. We lived in the Dalles, and then we lived in Eastern Washington, like outside of Othello in a little tiny town.
Yeah, Central Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
Good old Osmello. Catfish Terry. That sounds like a blues artist.
And hi, Danikin. Okay, anybody got any other questions?
There's a lot of people saying, hey. I see your live stream is people's catch-up time.
Yep, they're saying hi to everybody.
Oh, I almost apologized to you, Wyoming 4E, because the Moses Lake area is dry and dead and boring, but then I realized you're from Wyoming, so you're probably used to that like we are here in Montana.
Oh, Chappie sent me a $20 super chat. Thank you, Chappie. Do you have kids, Tucker?
I have a daughter in Oregon that I don't often get to see. And what's my favorite fish? That's a tough one. I really like my rope fish. That's probably my favorite that I have right now. I love betas. I love their personalities. I love mostly their personalities. My absolute favorite is probably corridoras of almost any stripe, but false Julies are probably my favorite looking. But Corys, pound for pound, Corys have more personality in them than any other fish I've ever had. All my fish tanks are just an excuse to have Corys.
How did I react when you got in trouble at school?
I once was sent home sick from school and had to stay home for a couple of days because I had the flu or chicken pox or I don't know, early COVIDs. I don't remember. I was very little. And Mom sent me back to school with a note that said, "Please excuse Tucker. He is a very sick little boy."
I did.
So,
I'd forgotten about that.
so Mom literally wasn't the problem. Honestly, when I lived with Mom, I didn't get in trouble in school a lot. I was kind of a quiet, nerdy kid that was like.
I forgot about that note.
I didn't become a ruffian until I was middle school, high school, and by that point, I lived in the Dalles. Yep, Mom is a grandpam. My daughter's name is Scarlett. She lives with her mother in the Dalles.
And I have never seen her.
She looks like me, poor child. Oh, Big D Smoke, you got to get some Corey's. It's like the best. They're excellent tank cleaners. The only tank cleaners I prefer over Corey's is a mono shrimp for efficiency, but Corey's have all the personality. They play. I love them.
So, I don't see any other questions other than Sean keeps asking for embarrassing stories about me, but we don't want those. So you can tell everybody, because a lot of people in here haven't heard about the Halloween outfit that I made for you.
So I think I was in kindergarten or first grade, and Mom asked me at the beginning of summertime, like, "Oh, what do you want to be for Halloween?"
It was actually it was the night before.
Oh, was it the night before?
Yeah,
I thought it was like a little bit. I thought it gave you
No,
more.
I stayed up all night long and made that outfit.
Shit. Okay, well, I said I want to be a Viking because I was little, and she's like, "Okay," and she made this amazing walnut Viking hat with like the horns on it. I think it's up in my closet. I wasn't able to find it right away because I didn't look for it. Sorry, Mom. And I had like a fur, like Hagar the Horrible cloak on, and she made like a sword out of cardboard that was wrapped in duct tape and tinfoil, so it was all shiny and whatnot, and painted a beard on my face because I couldn't grow one at the time, and got me all ready for school in the morning. And she'd been up all night, and her eyes were all red and blurry, and her coffee was shaking and whatnot. She's so proud of herself, and she stands me in front of the mirror, and she, "How do you like it?" And I said, "I wanted to be a Minnesota Viking," because that was my dad's favorite football team. And I watched her face just slide off the front of her head. And I felt so bad, and I was a Viking for like several years in a row after that.
What's the best meal I ever made for you growing up, and what was the worst one?
The worst one was handmade or homemade pizza that ended up being more like tomato pepperoni soup.
I don't remember that.
I do. I very much do. The second worst, actually probably the ultimate worst, was goulash. Because we would go camping and she would just make a vat of goulash.
Yeah.
With like a 50-gallon drum of goulash. Goulash to feed a gulag. And we went out to the mountains, and we had this vat of goulash, and it rained nonstop the entire time. Everything was cold and damp. Like you could put socks into a plastic bag and air seal it, and they would be cold and damp when you pulled them out. It was that wet outside, just rain pouring everywhere. And we couldn't get a fire going, and the propane stove wasn't working, and everyone was frustrating, and like it was cold and miserable, the best kind of camping. And all we had to eat was this vat of goulash that was just tepid and like half rainwater. And that was the last time I was ever able to eat goulash. I to this day despise this stuff. The best was any meal that I was eating at the time because I'm a fat kid. So really great homemade biscuits the size of my head. Cinnamon rolls the size of my
I used to, when you were little, I used to cut them into ducks. Remember that?
Yes.
Duck biscuits, because I didn't want you kids saying, oh my God, we're having biscuits again, because we didn't have a lot of money. So I'd cut them into ducks. It was like, all right, duck biscuits.
Which in some ways was preferable to the actual duck that we would eat because Dad was too lazy to pull the BBs out after shooting them. There's always this little pile of lead at the edge of your plate. You're just like, greasy duck. Oh, and BB. Pink. Little pellet.
Someone asked what my favorite piece is of yours.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm gonna on the next camping trip, I'm gonna bring a great big pot of goulash for everybody.
Oh, it's great. Yeah, do that. Just, not if you have friends with you. This is nasty. My favorite piece that Mom has done is actually the one that she did when she was in high school still that I have hanging over my computer. See if I can... And I know that she is a lot more skilled now than she was back then, but I just really like that one. I like the age of it, the story behind it, that I haven't dusted it in like 3 years. Yeah, that's probably my favorite. Also, the ones of bears. I like bears because me, like a bear, enjoys eating a lot and then sleeping for 3 months.
So Tucker has your art talent. He does pretty good.
Mm-mm. Nope. I draw my Dungeons and Dragons characters and things of that nature. I've designed a couple of tattoos, but yeah, I do not have anywhere close to Mom's talent or drive for it, for that matter. I'm more of a writer. I write things, not as much as my wife, though. I'm second tier to everyone in my life. Yeah, I'm not a fan of meatloaf either. It's literally never has flavor. I mean, you would think it would be great. It's meat, good. Loaf, great. Meatloaf, boring shit. Yes, she does do the best bear drawings, hands down. I work in a hospital, and we have a couple of various artists' renditions of bears hanging up, and every time I walk by them, I'm like, cheap garbage. Mom could do better. Yeah, there's not enough ketchup in the world to make meatloaf worth it.
Fishy Fin says your steaks always had lead in them.
Oh, why did he use rock salt? Like, that's the best way to do it. I've actually been shot by a rock salt shotgun on an accident helping my dad move some cattle, and some got stuck in a gully. And one of his buddies would load a sawed-off double-barrel shotgun, highly illegal, with rock salt to startle cows when they were stuck down in gullies and things like that. And he didn't see me on the other side of this brush, and he fired some rock salt and thinking that there's cattle in there, and it pegged me in the shoulder. Incredibly painful.
I'll
Not
bet.
gonna lie. I cried and probably peed a little bit. I can't honestly say, oh yeah, I've been shot by a shotgun before. If I was a ghost on Supernatural, I would be dead than before.
Well, your Uncle Bill used to chase me around the house with a BB gun.
Yeah. How do I feel about Mom being a big-time artist and YouTuber personality? I'm used to the artist thing. Super proud of her. I am just so full of pride for my mom's artwork, and I show it off all the time. The YouTube personality thing, I'll be honest, a little bit weird. Kind of used to that. Not exactly what I was expecting. If you told me 10 years ago, I'd be like, Mom can't even use a computer. I saw another question, but now I don't know where it went. Outdoor activities do I do? Nothing. We're on stay-at-home orders. Although I am an essential worker.
He works at the hospital in buildings.
I analyze emergency room records. It is less exciting than it sounds, and oftentimes more hilarious than you would think it would be.
More hilarious?
Oh, yeah. Oh, especially like ambulance reports. EMS drivers are like my favorite when they're writing reports because they always very, very carefully try and like walk around what actually happened so they can be diplomatic and not be like, yeah, this person was an idiot. But every once in a while they just give up on it, and they like, we had a guy who called the ambulance because he was felt his heart rate was increasing, and he felt that he had been given bad methamphetamines and was having an allergic reaction to it because his heart rate went up, and he was really nervous and sweaty. And I'm like, bro, I think that's just what meth is. Teenagers that eat edibles for the first time and think they're gonna... Personal favorite complaint I've ever seen for an ER report was, and I quote, "Bitch ran over my leg."
Okay.
She was in the Burger King parking lot and bitch ran over her leg.
You're probably too young to remember when I ran over somebody's leg.
Was it a Hispanic gentleman who was walking on the side of the road and his leg went flying off in the darkness and caused you to have a miniature panic attack until his friend came up to the window and was like, "You ran over my friend"?
No, that wasn't what happened at all. I think you were little when that happened. We were in the Dalles. We lived in the Dalles, and there was a bluegrass festival down at the rodeo grounds.
Oh, the passed out guy underneath the vehicle.
Yeah, he climbed underneath my car and went to sleep. And I asked your dad, I said, "Is there anything in front of me?" And he said, quote, "Just a pair of tennis shoes on a blanket. Don't worry about it." He failed to tell me that there was somebody in the tennis shoes on the blanket. Yeah.
Have you told them about, oh, maybe this is a story we shouldn't tell. The
never mind.
The wine coolers, you know what I'm talking about?
No.
On the way out to the lake.
Oh, yeah, you can go ahead and tell that one, yeah.
All right. Here we go. So we're all heading out to the lake, right? So we're going to the lake for some fishing with your friends, okay? So we head out there, and we stopped at a resort, like little shop thing to pick up snacks and drinks and whatnot on the way out for a long day of fishing. And on the way out there, us little kids are sitting in the back of the vehicle, and my littlest sister, Courtney, was like still in the car seat at the time, and she was thirsty. So my older sister says, "Mom, Courtney's thirsty." And Mom's like, "Okay, well, there's some juice in the bag back there. Just grab her one." So she did, and Courtney drank it and was thirsty again because it was a long drive out there and it was a hot day. She drank like 3.5 of these juices. And then Jesse's like, "Mom, I think Courtney's sick." And Dad...
No, she never got sick. Yeah, I think you're telling your dad's version, which he made at the end of it.
Yeah, okay. So Dad starts yelling and complaining, like, "She's not sick. There's nothing wrong with it," because that was Dad. Frustrated because, like something's interrupting the fishing trip and whatnot. And eventually Jesse convinced them to, like, turn around and look, and Courtney is just pale, pasty white and, like, passed out with, like, half a bottle of wine cooler in her lap. And Mom screams at Dad to, like, stop the vehicle, and Dad pulls over. Now, this is where the stories truly diverge.
Yeah, they do. They actually diverged a while ago because your dad has his own version.
Oh, Lordy Lord. Bad. This is where I recall it diverging then. If you ask Dad dramatically rushed Courtney down to the lake, dunked her in the water, and revived her. Oh, Courtney. If you ask Mom, and I find this one to be more likely, I'm not just saying that because Mom's right there.
She just slept all day.
Well, Dad laughed his ass off.
Yes, he did.
Like,
And the way that we figured out it was wine cooler was because Jessica wanted to drink a wine of the orange juice. And she says, ew, it tastes like beer. And I'm like, oh, it does not. And I grabbed the bottle and looked, and it was wine cooler.
Yeah.
But Courtney never got sick. She just like
Slept.
she fell asleep and slept all day long.
And grew up to be Courtney.
We fished all day long. And then when I went to pick her up out of the car seat, she let out this big belch and went back to sleep again. But yeah, your dad has a different version where he's like, I'm like a horrible person and he's the hero.
Dad's the hero in every story he tells. That's the nature of Dad's storytelling.
Yes, yes.
I actually got that quality from Dad, which is a quality that I used much to my advantage when I was a fighter pilot over the skies of Vietnam.
Yeah, Tucker, right. Okay, good night, Moonstone.
Sweet
yeah,
dream.
your version's actually a little bit different than what happened, but you were like about 6 years old, or no, you weren't even that old.
I don't actually remember. I remember people telling me this.
Yeah, so what you're remembering is your dad's version of it, which is a little
and
bit
your
different.
version. I think you've told me more often than Dad has. I never talked to Dad.
Oh, why don't you tell him about the toothpaste?
All right.
What was that evil laugh?
I don't know how exactly I did this, and I wish I did because it was pure genius. So I took it in mind when I was probably 6 years old to squeeze a bit of toothpaste out. The toothpaste, get a little air in there, and then replace it with Dad's shaving cream, the finest quality Barbasol Beard Buster. And I don't know how I managed to make it so perfect that no one could tell, but I screwed the cap back on, and then I waited. And then I forgot. And then it was time for bed. And my older sister was upstairs, and she started brushing her teeth, and she yelled that there was something wrong with the toothpaste. And Dad was watching, I don't know, sports or Muppets or something, and there's nothing wrong with the toothpaste. Yeah, there's something wrong with the toothpaste. There's nothing wrong with the nothing wrong with the toothpaste. He yelled back and forth a couple of times, and then he finally gets fed up and he stomps upstairs. Womp, 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 womp. And I'm just like, and I hear silence, and then I hear coughing, and then I hear Tucker. And here's the part that bugs me about this story. Did I put shaving cream in the toothpaste? Yes, I did. But there was no evidence that it was me. There was no trial. There was no questioning. It was pure accusation. They immediately blamed me for it, which I think is highly unfair.
Because we immediately knew which one of the kids would do something like that.
You could have pretended to find out.
Hi, Mrs. Griffin. Okay, is there any other questions?
Yeah, it was always sports, the Muppet Show, but only because we convinced him to like it, and Night Court. And then when Coach came on, there was Coach. And yes, Night Court is still one of the best shows.
Oh, yeah, I like Night Court. That was a good one. I love the Muppets.
Bull is like a personal hero of mine.
Yeah, H.C. Aqua says parents always know.
Yeah,
I remember one time I was cooking dinner and Tucker was playing on the floor behind me. And Jessica says, Tucker, Mom, look, where'd Tucker get those toys?
All right.
I turned around and looked, and it was his Christmas presents he was playing with.
I distinctly remember this. And yes, I may have stolen my Christmas presents out of the closet and opened them up and hidden the wrapping paper behind my bed.
Yes.
But I was playing with them for a good hour underneath the kitchen table, and Mom hadn't noticed. And I remember thinking to myself, like, I remember Jessie getting home because I had half days at school and she had a full day. And I remember her walking in the door and the casual conversation and whatnot. And I remember thinking, I wonder what would happen. I wonder if they would be like, oh, wow, Tucker got this neat new toy. Where did he get it? I'm curious. So I decided to walk out in the open with it. And Jesse was like, "Erp." And they took the toys away. They took that one away. It was a big Tonka truck that I really loved. That it could go forward or it could go backwards. I mean, that was it. But I was a simple kid with simple pleasures. So that's all I really wanted out of life. And I had a bunch of plastic dinosaurs they didn't find for about a week. And then they found those too. And they took them all away. And I was told that I ruined Christmas. I wouldn't be getting anything else. I would have to reopen these toys. And it was supposed to break my little heart. But I was a straight up little shit. I was just like, I should have been a mercenary captain at that age. I was cold-hearted and pragmatic. Teacher's pet, but viciously evil. So I was like, oh no, I ruined Christmas. But in my heart, deep inside, I was just like, oh, I can't wait till Christmas because I fucking love that truck. Christmas time came around, and I was just like, I wonder which one of those boxes is that truck. I want that truck.
You were such an evil little kid.
Oh, yeah. Not evil. I was capricious.
Okay, does anybody have any questions?
How long before Christmas? Oh, shoot. It was like the beginning of the school year, so like August. I don't know. When's Christmas these days? December?
Yeah.
So it's about that long. When you're a kid, all that time just blends together.
No, when I was a kid, I was an angel.
Yeah, so is Lucifer. Aw. Yeah, see, Mom? I'm a nice man. You done all right. Ooh. No, I think I was pretty much caught in, well, I did bury mail a couple times, and I lit some envelopes on fire that I don't know what they had in them. They knew it was me that lit the chair on fire.
Oh my God, yes. That was, I got home, I was in town. I left Jessica in charge, and she was like, hang on, there's a kid at my door.
All right. So she left Jesse in charge of us, and Jesse was not adequately prepared for dealing with little hellions like us. And Mom had this rocking chair that she sat in all the time. She would smoke and read and have her Lipton iced tea, and that was like her zone, her spot. Behind it was a fireplace. Now, normally we wouldn't have a fireplace because, again, dirt-ass poor. But this place that we were renting happened to have a very nice fireplace. So I'm back there, and I've got toys, and I've got Mom's lighter, and the back of the chair goes, foof. And I went and stared at it for way too long before putting out, left a gap in it the size of my head, just a streak of burnt, horrible polyester smell, just awful. And Jesse freaked out because there's like black smoke everywhere and whatnot. And our parents get home, and Jesse's like, oh, the chair caught on fire. And I told Jesse when she asked me how it happened, I said that Courtney was rocking back and forth in the chair so hard that it caused a spark. But that story, while it fooled Jesse, did not fly with Mom. So I tried a different one. And I went with spontaneous combustion. Yeah, I don't know. It just done exploded. Sometimes things explode.
Yeah, right. That was, believe it or not, the police.
What did you do?
3 police officers.
What did I do?
They were looking for...
I was at work.
They were looking... Now, some of you will remember this. I talked along, like, last summer about this guy that's an alcoholic that I was giving rides to because he couldn't drive, and he was like wanting to take me out to dinner and bleh, stuff. This old alcoholic guy. Anyway, they were looking for him.
Ooh,
And they asked me if I'd heard any screaming coming from any of the neighbors' houses.
that's always a comforting question to be asked by
There
police.
was 3 officers, and they were looking for this Frank guy.
Is you got Buddy near you?
Buddy's right here, yeah.
All right. Well, just keep an eye out in case Frank comes by.
That's kind of odd, yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's who was at the door. It was 3 police officers.
And as we learned, they're not after either mom or myself. And also, sometimes chairs just explode. Not my fault. Oh, Mom, remember when the fish tank sparked and lit the curtain on fire while you were gone?
Yeah, and you called the fire department instead of just unplugging the fish tank.
Jesse called the fire department. I didn't. Yeah, I actually lit that fire.
Oh my God, I didn't. Somehow
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
I kind of forgot about that.
You let me replace all my fish tank stuff because I thought it had sparked.
Well, I didn't do it on purpose. I was just playing with a lighter, and the curtain was nearby, and sometimes things explode. So
See, I'm finding out this stuff.
I did not light your truck on fire. That wasn't me.
I didn't light my truck on fire.
No, it just lit on fire. Remember?
Oh
The
yeah,
dinosaur?
that was I was in town when that happened.
Yeah.
That was Jim did that. Well, he didn't do it on purpose. I had a fuel filter go out and the truck wouldn't hardly run, so I left it at the fire station and he met me down there to help me fix it. And he was putting the new fuel filter on, and there was I was like hanging over the edge of the truck, and there was these 3 clamps, 3 clamps.
Getting the clamps.
And I said, "Don't you need to put these on?" He says, "Oh no, it doesn't need it." And the next day I was in town and my truck caught on fire. There was gas pouring out underneath my truck, and the car behind me was honking. And I leaned forward to see what they were honking about, and I heard this poof, and my whole engine went up in flames. Yeah.
It was really unfortunate.
Yeah, it was
I didn't have a lot of reasons to like Grandpa, but that was a nice truck.
Yep. It was my dad's truck, and when he died, I bought it for my mom. Tell us the Chinese buffet story with the tapeworm. That was a simple thing because I started singing it on here one night. My tapeworm tells me what to say. Because we were at the Chinese buffet, and you and Megan started singing that while you were in line.
Yeah, we were singing System of a Down.
Yep.
My tapeworm tells me what to do. Yeah, got some looks. It wasn't nearly as bad as just your boyfriend being racist.
Which one was that?
Al. At every Chinese restaurant we'd go to, he would like do a fake, terrible, like yellow fever type accent, and ugh.
Yeah, I'd forgotten that.
I was not a fan. Has Mom told you guys about the ringtone that I set her up with? I've got the clap, and I'm giving it to you.
Oh yeah.
How it went off in the middle of an art gallery?
Oh yeah, that happened too. I didn't tell them about that. They were like looking at my art, trying to decide if they were going to carry it up or not, and my ringtone went off.
I've got the clap, and I'm giving it to you. I've got the clap.
Who wants the clap? We do. Yeah.
Oh yeah. System of a Down, awesome band. They're like if you took the Dead Kennedys lead singer and put him in front of Rage Against the Machine.
Oh, I've dated more than one racist. One guy I quit dating because he was really bad racist. He thought he was impressing me when he'd call me up and, yeah, I just stopped at the gas station and the ragheads said this, and he was always saying shit like that.
Mom has
Not impressed me a bit.
abysmal taste in men.
Yes, we won't talk about that.
Mom's taste in men is equivalent of like a 16-year-old kid's taste in beer, where it's just like mom dated Milwaukee's Beast, and then like she got some hams. For a while, she was with Bud and Bud Light, just horrible piss water. That's mom's relationship right there. Dad was Milwaukee's Beast. Probably had some Pabst Blue Ribbon at one point. Oh, Jennifer had a great question. Where did it go? They see me scrolling. They hating. Yep, too far away. Can't find it. Lost to the winds.
She'll have to type it again because I don't see it either. Wait, did I just see your name? No, don't see your name. So it must be way, way, way up there. For either of you, what's the biggest trait Tucker got from you?
My cock. Sorry, couldn't help it. Boondock Saints reference. Oh, gallows humor. I mean, a lot of that is life experience, but some of it is just mom got gallows humor. Also, probably my hairiness. I mean, if we're to be honest, your dad, Mom, that's a bad sentence, was a very hairy person.
Yes, he was. He'd put on a swimsuit and would start laughing because he looked like a gorilla with tights on. With a Speedo. A gorilla with a Speedo.
He looked like a slightly better groomed... oh, and I can't think of his name, Mork. Good morning, Vietnam. Greatest comedian ever. Who am I trying to think of?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, thank you. I had a brain fart. He was almost as hairy as Robin Williams.
What's the biggest thing you got away with when you were younger?
I saw that, Aqua Balls. Like, got away scot-free, or was punished but probably not in a good like balance to the actual crime, because man, there was the glider I tried to build on the roof of the barn, throwing rocks through the landlord's tractor's windows. Oh, we built a fort this one time. My friends and I, we built it out of hay, and we took like bales of straw and alfalfa, and we stacked them up, and we took like part of a bale and tied it so it looked like the end of an actual bale, and pulled it into a little hole to make our door, and we made it look like a haystack, and it was awesome. And we had a grand old time in that thing. And then like 3 days later, we decided, because Courtney, my little sister, was like Mom's camera. In fact, we used to call her Mom's little camera. In fact, she tattled on me for things I hadn't even done sometimes. But because I was so notorious for doing other things, I just got blanket trouble. So Butch and I crawled into this fort and pulled the door in behind us. And my friend Steve was like, "Oh no, they were climbing on the haystack and it fell in on it, like, and it collapsed on them." And Courtney, and she runs off, and we had a grand old time. We were laughing and everything and crawling out there. And I remember crawling out, and I had the hay bale like door in front of me, and I crawled out and I stood up, and we're laughing and having a good old time. And I look up the road, and there's just this dust cloud, and then just a pickup truck appears from the middle of it, just whoomp, whoomp, coming down this gravel road. Dad is driving like a bat out of hell. And Courtney's like clinging on to the front seat like a kite just flying behind it. And he pulls up and he screeches to a stop, and Courtney like flies into the dash and he jumps out and he looks at us, and I'm standing there, and he looks at me, and he looks at the fort with a doorway, and he looks back at me, and he looks back at it, and I was like, I'm a die. This is where I die. And then he just burst into like half laughing, half tears. I didn't get in trouble for that for probably 2 or 3 days. I got in trouble eventually.
Hi, Marie.
And yes, the Zen Ginger, I definitely deserve the blanket blame.
No, I was actually a really good kid. I didn't do anything wrong ever.
Yeah, that the eye moving really made that convincing. What about the time that Grandpa confiscated your speed?
Oh, he didn't confiscate it. I gave it to him. Then we don't talk about that.
Is that like the oregano?
Yeah, that's like the oregano stories.
Oh, that's all right. I sold some illicit stuff when I was a teenager as well, and used it to pay off some of Dad's Q2, some of Dad's medical debt. Oh, thank you. Yeah, he's a whoops, big old angelfish. She is a rancid, horrible monster. Budspeak. Yeah. Well, Mom, do you regret inviting me on here yet?
Not yet. Just waiting for any other questions. Still kind of in a what the hell thing with the cops. When they walked off, they were kind of like sneaking between the trailers. So I don't know.
What are we not talking about and talking about?
What?
Yeah, they're fishy. Oh, what else did we tell them?
Best vacation together. I don't know. We used to go up the Lostine River every summer.
Yeah, the Lostine. I'm going to tell them about when I almost drowned. So the Lostine River is a beautiful, beautiful river, and it's crystal clear. And if you're familiar with like high mountain waters, when it's crystal clear, it looks like it's 6 inches deep, and it's actually like 12 feet deep, kind of thing. And we found this swimming spot that was like next to some sunken logs. It was really pretty. It was very nice. It was a hot summer day, and I remember being out on the log with my sister, and I slipped and I fell in, and the water looked like it was 1.5 feet deep. No big deal, but it was like 8 feet deep because it's next to a sunken log. And what I recall was water, 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 and then air, and I'm screaming, and Dad looked angry, and then water, 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 and then I'm screaming above water, and Dad looked kind of confused, like, and then water, 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 and I'm above water again, and Dad's like in mid-stride coming towards me, and he jumped in and he pulled me out and everything. But yeah, initially he was like, it's not that cold, and then he's like, oh shit, my son is drowning. But I guess I was flailing around enough to put up a good show and keep mostly above water, but scared the living bejesus out of me. And Mom would never let us go in like over our like armpits. And so we'd go out swimming, and Mom would be like, don't go over your armpits. And so we'd be splashing around, like not going over our armpits. And then Dad would like swim up behind us and throw us out into the deep end because apparently he didn't want kids anymore. Joke's on him. I was fat. I float like a mofo.
I had my oregano was in the china cabinet, in the dark corner of the china cabinet. So don't ask me how Tucker managed to find my oregano.
You can smell weed a mile away.
And he pulled it out and he says, "What's this?" And I said, "It's oregano." And he believed me.
I did. I was not yet familiar with oregano, but now I'm very familiar with various Italian spices. Mary's craft and creation story. It's like those
Yeah.
Oh, and then there was throwing rocks at your boyfriend's fishing bobber.
Yes, he wanted to take you out fishing so that you could become buddies. And I was at work, and when I got home, they weren't really speaking to each other. And he told me that they took Tucker out fishing, and Tucker proceeded to stand on the bank above him and throw rocks at the bobber.
I was a good throw too.
So
Well,
that was their bonding fishing trip.
He took my BB gun and used vegetable oil on it to try and like lubricate it so it would work better for me. And then I didn't have a BB gun anymore. So yeah, he gets rocks at the bobber. Hey, Torm. Meow. You want to come up? No? All right. Well, come on. Come on, Tubbly. Okay.
The best oregano story though was what was her name? Jenny?
The farrier's wife?
No. Kaz's girlfriend and her daughter.
Oh, yeah, I don't remember.
Jennifer or something like that. Anyway, when she was in the first grade, she was the same age as Jessica, so you wouldn't remember because she was in the first grade, and for show and tell, she took a baggie to school to show everybody her mom and dad's homegrown tobacco. Yeah.
This is Torm. He's a bit chunky, but I have never been loved by a creature more than Torm loves me.
How do I not have an echo? Why would I have an echo?
Torm's breath is terrible.
Hi, Miles Traveler. Okay, does anybody have any other questions? Can you guys tell that he's my son?
Seriously, Kat, you got really bad breath.
I'm not wearing headphones, so Tucker's voice would be playing through the speakers to her ears. Oh, I've got like a microphone sitting up on the shelf above me, so it's not that close to the computer.
I like to think that Dragon Lair was a pilot at the time. Oh, I'm sorry, Mom. Somebody said that I look like you.
Oh.
That does not speak well for you.
How many aquariums does Tucker have? You answered once, but go ahead and answer again.
Yeah, 2 large ones, 10-gallon, and 2 5-gallon micro tanks. One that just has shrimp and a couple of white cloud minnows, and the other has a dwarf gourami and some neons. And I've got a mono shrimp in pretty much all of my tanks except for the one with the angelfish behind me because she eats them. There's some ghost shrimp in there, or there was 10 minutes ago. They're probably gone by now.
Big D says he used to sell weed and coke to a couple FedEx pilots.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. Well, I was buying speed for my brother-in-law, who was then selling it to my dad, who was a trucker. So I was on vacation with him, and Dad pulled out. He had one of those old metal Anison tablet tins,
Totally illegal to have now because of things like this.
Yeah, and he popped it open and took out a couple pills, and he looked at Mom, said he'd have to be getting some more. So I held my breath, and I had one of those compacts for women's makeup, but it was empty, and I had it totally filled with speed, in a circle. And I just popped open the lid and said, "Here, you can have some of mine." And then we started, after he got over his shock, I told him that actually my brother-in-law Bob was buying it from me and selling it to him, and we found out he was tacking on an extra $10. So my dad started buying it from me. And he told me to get him a jar, which was like $100 at the time. He told me to get him a jar, and then after he got his jar, he'd kill me for having anything to do with it.
I sold pot to my teachers. It's probably I sold to a lot of people, but the teachers one is probably the most startling.
Okay, let's get on a different subject. We're making ourselves look bad here.
What fish would he like to see out of all the fish species in the world? Technically not a fish, but if I could have, if I had unlimited wealth that could have any aquarium I wanted, Pacific octopus. I would totally have cephalopods. Octopi are the coolest creature in the entire world. If it wasn't for their limited lifespans, they would absolutely dominate the planet. They're so cool. And oh yeah, ER nurses, definitely. You need to take that edge off. But yeah, I would do an octopus tank because they're smart and they're amazing and they're terrifying and they might be an elder god.
Yep, they are, but I think they don't live very long, and they're really expensive to buy.
3 years.
And they don't live very long.
One of the longest lived species of octopi is about 3 years. And that's the only reason why their intelligence is not a direct threat to us. Can you imagine, with as clever as those creatures are, if they had decades to learn like we do?
Y'all need some time out time. Yep. Oh, I should check that again. I always forget to check.
I think you can, but I'm not sure. And yes, Jenny, I just want to raise Cthulhu. 100%, hands down. Raise up the elder gods, get rid of that COVID. Cthulhu 2020.
Yep. Or the flying spaghetti monster would be smarter than what we have now. Oh, no politics, sorry.
No politics. And no religion, Mom. That's both. Jeez.
Oh my God, you're right. Yeah. I told Tucker no politics and no religion, and I just did both in one.
Because I will demonetize this channel so fast. Yeah, I saw that the relatives of the Nautilus have been bred in captivity. That is it's just so awesome to me. And they've actually found a couple of the old school Nautiluses alive still, so very excited.
What's my favorite animal, either in general or pet wise? I don't know. I pretty much love all animals. I really do. So it would be hard to pick one. There's a lot of things I wouldn't mind having. Like a fox would be kind of cool.
Tigers.
Tiger.
All tigers. She'd have tigers and a bunch of husbands.
Yep. Then Ginger says, well, back to drugs then.
Oh. I think we've all said that a few times. They glow in the water. Yeah, drugs will make things glow in the water, for sure.
Good night. Good night. Good night.
Yeah, Chewy, I read about an octopus at a marine institute that had memorized the security guard's walking pattern and would sneak out at night, like wait for the guard to pass and then sneak out, go into other tanks, eat shellfish out of them and like expensive rare fish, and then sneak back in after the security guard passed again. Like they are super, super smart. Hell yeah, go listen to Metallica. It's like the best, especially Call of Cthulhu.
No, Sean.
Mom, invited me on your channel and I turned it into horrible things.
Yeah, the blue ring octopus is pretty, but yeah, they're pretty poisonous too. Like everything in Australia.
Yeah.
How did you get that epic beard?
Grew it myself. Megadeth is okay. Metallica it's better. Like, don't tell Dave Mustaine because he's very sensitive, but yeah, Ride the Lightning, far superior.
Hey, Alien World. Well, okay. So any other stories?
I mean,
we have 55 people in here listening to you.
Yeah, no pressure or anything.
Oh, there's Bob. Kaler's Aquatics. Candy says she doesn't know if he's old enough for this stream. He's like my age.
I don't know. I think all of us are a bit older after the stream.
Yes. We all aged like 10 years in the last half an hour. It's his dogs he's concerned about.
Cover their ears.
Hello, Termite Breath. Welcome to the stream. Okay, any other questions?
Oh, yeah.
This is going to be you guys' chance.
Cliff passing away really did change the band a lot. I miss smoking so much.
I'm sorry.
Torment me, Mom.
Tucker was a good boy and he quit. But I haven't quit.
She says as she flips us off.
Yes. You caught that, did you? Oh, he wouldn't remember that.
Would this be the one where my older sister would give me pickle juice when I asked for water, thus convincing me for years that all water tasted like pickles? Because I do remember that.
I don't remember that. I remember, though, you convincing Jessica that her Barbie dolls were dead fairies covered with plastic.
No, that wasn't Jessie. Jessie was too old for that kind of thing. That was Courtney.
Was that Courtney?
Yep. And she buried them in the yard, and I dug them up and replaced them with dog poop. So when you guys finally told her the truth and I got in trouble for it, she went out and unburied them and found dog poop. And I was like, oh, no, they decomposed.
Oh, my God. There's Jessie.
Yeah, Jessie's in here listening.
Jessie is in here, yes. we were just telling stories about Tucker and how ornery he was when he was up.
I couldn't ever trick Jessie into things because she was older and wiser than me. So I had to do things to her like putting shaving cream in the toothpaste.
Oh my God, what am I going to do? I've got two of my kids here now.
Tucker, what do you like to do for fun? Well, we covered the drug thing. I'm a standard nerd. I run D&D games and play D&D. I read, play a lot of video games, throw rocks off the overpass, lick doorknobs,
Yeah.
sell Tide Pods outside the school.
It's termite breath, Nathan. Another one of my kids.
Oh, Alien World Aquatics. I don't know what Vsauce is, but if it's good, then thank you. I hate my voice on a microphone, frankly. It sounds weird to me.
Tucker's voice is V-sausage? I have no idea.
Vsauce here. I probably screwed that up. 3.5 is a good addition. I've grown really, really fond of 5th edition D&D, for those of you who didn't keep up with that, because it puts the power back in the DM's hands and it streamlines things, so it's a little bit more storyline focused. It reminds me a lot of 2nd edition minus Thaco, which we don't talk about Thaco, because Thaco was awful. But yeah, 3.5 probably had the best customization, but very, very heavy on rules. Yeah, I got some Tide Pods right here.
Yuck. Vsauce is a very popular science intellectual channel. I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it can't be that popular. Yeah, I unfortunately don't watch a lot of YouTube channels. At work, I listen to really bad ghost stories from Reddit. .44 McGuy gets it. D&D is the shit.
Jesse says, hi to all who said hi. I don't know how to reply directly.
Hi, Jesse.
You want to come up, Jesse?
I'm sorry you need to do your laundry. I hate doing laundry. Yeah, if you guys want to know how much of a D&D nerd I am, so there's a beholder on my vest and the old school TSR ampersand. I've heard the lore podcast is awesome.
Tucker, me, creepy Chappie. Yep, Chappie's been in here. I don't know if he still is.
Yeah, he was creeping in here earlier.
Oh, you know what? I still have those cards to give away. Should I give away a card real quick?
Hey, neighbor. Well, my neighbor.
You kids, Jesse and Nathan, you missed there being a knock on my door.
The police showed up, and it wasn't for me.
And it wasn't for me either. No, they showed up.
Right off.
There was 3 policemen at my door a little while ago. They were looking for Frank. And they thought for some reason that he was in my trailer. I mean, they thought he was in here.
You got him hiding like underneath the bed?
No.
Chilling in the fish tank?
So I'm going to give away a card. Which one should I give away? We got Snake.
Chewy, to answer your question, Michael Wellen is my favorite fantasy artist.
And we have Chickadee. and we have some elk calves. No, there was a knock on the door, and I went and answered it right in the middle of the stream, and there was 3 cops standing there, and they asked me if Frank was here, and they'd said his last name. I can't remember what it was, and I said, I don't know who that is. And then I said, wait, is that the guy that's supposed to like be doing the maintenance around here? And they kind of snickered, and they said, yeah, at one time he thought he was a maintenance man. They said, is he here? And I said, no, I think I saw him yesterday walk by. And they said, well, have you heard any screaming coming from any of the neighbors' houses? And I said,
a reassuring question.
yeah. And I said, no, because truthfully, I'm doing a live stream, so I'm not hearing anything outside. And they kind of looked at me funny. And they said, okay. Then they like walked off and were sneaking between the trailers looking around.
Oh, no, officer. I didn't hear anything. Frank and I have been doing a live stream. Boris Vallejo is great, but he can't show a lot of his stuff in public.
No one can play
Yeah,
for
that is
snake.
awesome.
Snake. Well, I'm going to give away the snake first then. So you'll have to be a good guesser. Okay, so we're going to give away the snake first tonight.
Mom says she doesn't like the snake, but out of the 3, I think that's my favorite.
And I don't like it. I needed to do a better job than that on it. Okay, let me get a piece of paper here.
Yeah, I'm a snake.
Okay.
That's a mean.
So the rules for anybody that's new, and I know my kids haven't been in here before, is
Yeah, they only show up when I show up. What did I tell you?
it's kind of embarrassing to have my kids in here. Like, they're probably laughing at their mom doing a live stream.
Oh, I had it all night.
Okay, so I'm going to write down a number between 1 and 50. And everybody gets one guess of a number. And the person who comes closest to the number without going over wins the snake. And you only get one guess or you get disqualified. And I'm going to hit start. And everybody guess a number. Then we'll do one of the other ones in a little while. And you can do it too, Tucker, if you want, or I don't know if you have a YouTube account to sign in.
I don't. I ghost all of my subscriptions.
You ghost all of your subscriptions?
Yeah, I don't have an actual account, so I'm just subscribed and whatnot, but I can't comment or like, unfortunately. I should probably just sign up for that. Jesse heard all of our drug talk.
Oh, no.
It's going to be awkward Thanksgiving.
There goes my innocent mother whole thing that I strive to, project to my kids. Their sweet mother is ruined now. Okay, so is there any more numbers coming out? Still got under 14. Okay, I'm going to type stop. And then you guys can help me. I picked number 18. So let's see who got the closest without going over. We got Jay's bedroom got 14. We got 12, 21, big numbers, 10, 20.
Got a 13. Got a 15, Ginger Graves at 10:25. What did you pick, Mom?
It's number 18.
Sir Pronalot at 10:25, type 17.
Oh, wow. He's close.
Oh, Jenny type 16. I'm sorry, Jenny. You're so close. Yeah, so I believe it goes to Sir Pronalot.
Okay. So, Sir Pronalot, you need to send me your mailing address. I know you're in Australia, but you need to send me your mailing address, and I will get it in the mail. And Congratulations, yes. And let me type in my email address.
Because what Australia needs is another snake. Rigged. Yeah.
Okay, so there, and Zen Ginger got it too. Yeah. So send me an email with your, and cut and paste my email, because if you misspell it, then it doesn't go through. So, and people always misspell it. Soprano lives at my house. No, he does not, Aquamate. I know better than that. That's a good try, though.
She doesn't even know that Frank lives there.
So, yeah, go ahead and send me an email when you get a chance, hopefully tonight, so I can get it addressed and ready to go out Monday. And congratulations. Now, does anybody else have any questions for Tucker?
Do 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 do.
Ronnie is upside down. I don't get mail down under. No, you don't have to pay anything. That it's a prize. I give some away every week. You ought to stop by every week. On Wednesday nights is my usual time to do my live stream, and I give away at least 3 drawings every week. And they're small enough to where I just drop it in an envelope and ship it. So I'll ship it anywhere. So it doesn't matter if you aren't in the U.S. Same country, worth a shot.
I have seen things flying in the sky that I wasn't able to readily identify, but I don't know that I would necessarily leap to alien life. I mean, lights in the sky at night, that never happens. So, honestly, not sure. Unidentified to me. Any chance for Renfest this year? I'm assuming you're talking to me and not to Mom. It got canceled this year. We're really, really hoping for next year. The COVID's kind of shot it right in the dick hole, unfortunately. But, better safe than a bunch of people with fairy wings coughing on each other and dying.
Do you like oregano?
I do like oregano. Not as much as I used to. It helps me sleep and it takes the pain out of my shoulders and knees.
Tucker needs to tell favorite stories.
Yeah, we could do a 3-hour long live feed of just me telling my favorite stories. I have too many favorite stories.
Tucker, what character class do you mainly run?
Anything with magic. I like being the character that always has an extra trick up their sleeve. If it's a rogue with a couple of magical spells learned nefariously, if it's a warlock, wizard is always a classic, sorcerer, druids, less so clerics, because people expect you to be like just a pocket healer, and that's not my game. But yeah, I like having that extra little, like when the DM goes like, "Oh, what do you do now?" and I'm like, I cast a spell, mofo. I cast Fireball. Did I ask how big the room is? No. I said I cast Fireball.
And H7 Apollo says, how has this virus affected your life?
Whew. You want to go first, Mom, or you want me to?
You go first.
It's really screwed up my work schedule because half my colleagues are now working from home. So I went from 4/10s to 5/8s, where constantly I work at a hospital, and like my entire department's constantly kind of hanging under this pall of dreaded anxiety. But at the same time, we get daily updates, and Montana has done very, very well with the COVID address. We're actually doing better than I think a lot of the nation right now, and a lot of that is due to rapid response, social distancing, and things that we've implemented. I hate wearing a mask, but you do what you got to do. It's It'll be nice when it's over, and we're trying not to talk about a new normal. We're calling it work as unusual. And if I'm going to eat it, I would like to have a dog-sized shrimp. If I'm keeping a pet, I would like to have a shrimp-sized dog. I would name it Minnie the Poocher.
Okay, what's going on in the chat? Somebody had to delete something, and somebody's got issues.
Oh, we're not discussing the illness that shall not be named in chat.
Yeah. Well, YouTube had a deal where if you talked about it all, you could have your stream pulled and get demonetized. Hi, Jess. You just missed Tucker talking about D&D. Jess is a big D&Der. Jess Shrimp Granny.
Big D&Der.
I know. I probably didn't say it right, but oh well.
Oh, my mask is
Family Feud next, not what Pam says. Okay.
I do not have a favorite Metallica song because all Metallica songs are my favorite Metallica song.
Just
classics.
Just says, I saw Candy time someone else saw out, so I did too. I didn't want to feel left out. All right, let's time out everybody.
Favorite weapon in D&D? I'm a big polearm fan. Got to go with the Lockabrax or the Lucerne Hammer. Give me reach or give me death. Also, fireball.
I don't know what happened in chat, but I guess I'm just not going to worry about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah, whatever happened, I'm sure that it was taken care of because I have the best mods ever. Hi, Derek. And anybody else have any questions?
Thank you. I am very cool.
Yes, he is. All my kids are awesome.
Favorite class is any magic user, really. I like having the magic. Favorite race, hands down, dwarf. What's the best fantasy race? You're wrong. It's dwarf. Dwarves are always the best. Dwarves are just freaking awesome. But I personally am a half-orc. Like, just kind of in general. My license plate is Orc Bard. That should tell you everything you need to know about who I am. When did you start listening to Metallica?
Oh, God, he's been listening to Metallica forever and ever.
Like middle school. I had a Ride the Lightning tape. Best thing about my mom, she squirted me out.
Thank you.
Second best thing is her artwork. Third best thing is the biscuits.
I remember one time somebody said we were visiting with some of your friends, and you said that you squirted out of me and hit the doctor.
Yep.
Yep.
Shot at you like a cannonball.
And I turned right around and said, yeah, but I was aiming for your dad.
Elves. Hugging hippity dippity starlight. Actually, I like elves. Elves are pretty cool. I just think dwarves are better.
So are my other two kids still in here? Are they quiet or did they go away?
We need to know so we know what we can talk about.
Oh, now they're just going to sit there quietly and wait for stories.
Oh, goulash.
Oh, there's Jesse.
Goulash is the worst.
Did you want to come up and say hi, Jesse? I can send you the link.
I was very disappointed in what they did with Dragonborn in 5th edition, so I house rule them to have enhanced senses because, I mean, dragons. What are dragons known for? Breathing fire and being able to see in the dark. Yeah, Wyoming. I saw them in Portland with Godsmack. Madly in Anger with the World Tour. That was an awesome show. Sully did like a 20-minute drum solo in the middle of the set. Amazing.
Do you know of a strange band out of Canada called Rush?
Nope, never heard of them. Just one of the best drummers ever. Yeah, everyone knows Rush.
Okay, well, if you want to, just let me know, Jess. Or if Nathan's still here, let me know. Okay, so any other questions? I'm
I got
afraid
called cute in a private chat.
too much early wine might overload the interwebs. That's a good point.
Yep, breaking the interwebs.
Yeah.
Oh man, I would have loved to sing Chris Cornell again. Oh, you want to give away another drawing, Mom?
Yeah, I could give away another drawing. Okay, should I do? I've got the little elk calves, or I've got a chickadee.
Nathan Fishboy or like Nathan, my little brother, Nathan? Yeah. Hey, watch it with the magic there.
The chickadee? Okay, so we'll do the chickadee next. Let me write down a number. I always call them chickadee-dee-dees because that's the noise they make. Chickadee-dee-dee. And let me think of a number here.
Candy wants that chickadee. She's going to shank anybody else who goes for it.
Yep. Oh. Okay, so this one's going to be a number between 50 and 100. Same rules. Whoever gets the close, one guess apiece. Whoever gets the closest to the number without going over wins. And I'll type start. One guess apiece.
Uh-oh, we got two. Hey, Brandon guessed twice. Or did he? Am I making that up? Yeah, he guessed 42. And then 76.
Oh, that's because it's supposed to be between 50 and 100. So.
Oh, okay. That checks out.
So anybody that guessed below 50, you can re-guess if you want to.
My feed just cut out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, can you guys still see me?
Yeah, I can see
I
you.
will make sure not to do anything embarrassing. Oh, I'm back.
Yep. Okay.
It just turned black. Oh, it's because Spotify decided to update in the background. Thanks, Spotify.
Do D&D players get extra guests? No.
No, because we rolled a 1.
Okay, is everybody done? Nope, not yet. I don't have any idea who got it.
Well, what's the number?
Okay, I'm going to type stop. Okay, so the number is 56. 56. Right there, right there. 56. So we got to scroll back and see who got the closest without going over.
Got Mrs. Griffin Fishroom at 55. Dragon Lair also at 55.
Uh-oh, we got a tie. We'll have to do a tiebreaker. Well, if somebody got 56. I don't see another one.
No, I'm not seeing one either.
So we got to do a tiebreaker between Dragon Lair and Mrs. Griffin. So let me write down another number. Okay, I got another number written down, which is also between 50 and 100. And Dragon Lair and Mrs. Griffin, you each get a guess. One guess. So anytime you're ready, put in a number. There's a lot of lag, so we got to wait a minute.
I agree with Jenny. I say it's trial by combat.
Okay, Dragon Lair guessed 60 and Mrs. Griffin guessed 50. And the number was 65. So Dragon Lair got this one. And I know I've already got your address. Because I think you've got, is this your third card you've won? I think this is your third one, if I remember right.
Ooh, someone's collecting the whole set. Things are going like Beanie Babies.
So we got one left to give away, and we'll give it away in another like half an hour. So congratulations, Dragon Lair. So now somebody come up with another question. I'll come back Wednesday. I'll be giving away some more.
Hello, world. I am distressingly close to my camera. Nobody likes a bragger, Derek. As the Volsunga saga says, many a braggart is more, more battle axe than brains.
What was your favorite animated movie? Tucker actually like has a whole collection of Disney movies. So,
The original Jungle Book.
oh, that's my favorite one too.
Because of the music, and because of Colonel Hothy and King Louie.
Oh, that's a good idea, Jesse. We should tell some paranormal stories about when I lived in that trailer in
Oh man.
Billings.
Yeah, out in Huntley.
Yeah. They've heard me tell a few stories, but I've only seen UFOs one time. And when I lived down the canyon down Smyrna Canyon outside of Royal City. But it was just looking out the window at the lights, moving very strangely. Okay, so what was the creep? You lived with me off and on for a little while there when I lived in Huntley,
Mm-hmm.
and you slept on the couch, which kind of divided the living room and the kitchen.
Yes.
And the kitchen was very noisy at night.
Yes. Things would move around a lot. Chairs would move. One time I was on the couch reading, and Spirited Away is a very good movie. And somebody said hello, questioning, just like that. And I shot up and was like, the hell? Looked around, no one, of course. And I even checked outside to see if any of the neighbors were awake that might have said it. Nothing. There was what I could best describe as a ball of sound that floated through the living room one time that just sounded like
That happened to me.
babbling voices.
You heard that?
Yes.
I've had that happen to me twice. Once was on Cape Cod, and once was in that trailer. And it started like in the closet, the coat closet that was in between the living room and the kitchen by the couch. And I had this table sitting there, and I was sewing some stuff for Christmas, and this ball of voices came out of the closet, went right in front of me, and then turned and went down the hallway and disappeared. And it's the strangest thing because I've told people about that before, and nobody knows what I'm talking about. I'm so glad.
No, it was like if you could visualize it, it was like a 3-foot wide just ball of random voices.
Yeah, and you couldn't understand what they were saying.
Yeah, just
made this hair stand up on my arms. I wasn't scared, but it made all my hair was standing straight up on my arms. And it's like, it's so hard to describe because when you say a ball, you think visual, but you couldn't see anything.
Yeah, it was just
you knew that it was like a ball going by you that was like a ball of voices.
Yeah, it was very strange. I think the worst thing about that house is you had that old wicker rocking chair.
Yeah.
And it sat in the corner next to the fish tank, and I would stare at that rocking chair at night when the was just faintly lighted, and I just every night I would stare at this rocking chair, waiting for it to move. Just I dare you, rocking chair, do the creepy rocking chair thing and move. And all the stuff that happened in that house, not once did that damn rocking chair move. And that pisses me off. Because of everything that happened in that house, it should have been the rocking chair, and it never was. No. No, I was hiding oregano on the china cabinet at that time.
Do you remember when we were standing in the living room talking and you nudged me and pointed at the table? And I remember the salt shaker was
tipped up on its side, yeah.
On its side like that and just hung there for a minute.
And the moment you turned and looked, it rocked back into place.
Yeah. And it kind of rocked back and forth until it settled back down again.
And I remember leaning up against the kitchen counter, and we were talking about whatever that didn't matter, and you were doing the dishes, and the chair behind you scooted out and hit you in the back of the legs.
Yep, that happened a couple times. Well, it hit me in the back because it was one of those like a ladder back chair, and it just slid back from the table and hit me in the middle of the back. That happened a couple different times.
There was the night that you and Nathan were both woken up out of a dead slumber by every cabinet in the house slamming shut.
Yes.
There was the ghost cat.
Yeah, the ghost cat was fairly frequent. Yep.
Yeah, so they had a cat named Mario. Awesome cat. And you would feel Mario come down and like strop your leg while you're back at the computer, and you reach down to pet and there's no cat there. And that's when it would occur to you, oh shit, Mario's locked in Nathan's bedroom for the night, sleeping. Couldn't have been Mario. Just undead cat. That's cool. Whatever. Just have a spirit cat.
It used to jump up on the bed and you could feel it walking.
You could feel him walking, yeah.
Yeah, and it'd lay up against my legs purring. And you turn on the light and there was nothing there. And a lot of times I'd wake up early in the morning and hear it on the pillow beside me purring. But, the cat was just, the cat was friendly.
One of the most probably absurd stories from that house. Yeah, Mario is not around anymore, is he?
No, he's here.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay. Yeah, he's a shit.
Yes.
one of the most absurd stories from the house is I was just going to sleep, and I was on the hide a bed out in the living room, and this is how much of a nerd I am. Mom started frantically calling my name. I thought there was an intruder, and I went charging down the hallway, nothing but my boxers and a broadsword, ready to just hack apart anybody who rushed in the house. And turned out Mom had woken up with a shadow over the top of her, pushing her down into bed, which is arguably more terrifying than an intruder in some ways, and not something that I can stab with a 3 foot of metal.
Yeah. That did scare me. It was just like, when you lay in bed at night and you look up and you can see the white ceiling when your eyes are adjusted, but there was this like great big black mass on the ceiling, and I couldn't move my legs, and I felt pressure pushing on my legs. Did you ever see the shadow people?
I have seen shadow people off and on for a significant portion of my life, but I believe that most of the ones that I've seen are due to lack of sleep and just visual hallucinations caused by that, things moving in the corner of the eye kind of thing.
I used to see him going down the hallway in that house. So, and one time Courtney picked me up to go to town, and we were in her car getting ready to pull out of the driveway, and we both looked up, and the shadow of a man went in front of the 2 living room windows, across the 2 living room windows. And
Shit, that happened to me in the kitchen one night.
Did it? Oh,
Yeah.
We watched it, looked at each other, never said a word. And we got like halfway to Billings, and Courtney looked at me and she said, "You saw that, right?" I said, "Oh yeah." And that's all we ever said about it. We never said a thing about it. So you saw him in the kitchen?
Yeah, I was sitting at the kitchen table having a smoke and reading, and glanced up and thought somebody just walked by the window, and was like, "Oh, neighbors are home," and then realized that it was like 2 a.m. and no vehicles had pulled up, and there was no porch right there for them to walk on.
Yeah.
And why would neighbors be walking on our porch past our window? I also had a very recent, I'm not going to 100% say it was paranormal, but I was laying in bed on my side. My fan was behind me, not facing my face, but faced the back of my head. And I wasn't asleep yet. I was actually thinking about how I was going to rerun the air hoses to my fish tanks. And somebody said my name about 4 inches from my face, close enough that I felt the breath on my nose. Like, in it, I mean, had me hyper vigilant for like the next hour, just like, oh.
Yeah, because he sent me a message the next morning making sure I was okay.
Yeah, I checked with all of my female relatives to make sure it wasn't somebody like, I don't know, mentally crying out to me. We'll go get dressed, Big D Smoke. Your son doesn't need to see that.
Jesse says that was Frank. The shadow person.
Back up.
That was so strange to open up the door and have 3 policemen standing there. I was like, what the hell?
So, police story. My wife's uncle is a police officer here in Billings, and I've had very few encounters with him. He seems like a nice enough guy. We don't have a lot in common, but he's pleasant enough. But I tend to forget that he exists and that he's a police officer. And he has a very generic police officer look. And one night I got home from work. It was about 11:30 at night. My wife was already in bed, and I had just stripped down to boxers and a t-shirt kind of thing, and was dinking around on the computer. I don't know, playing a video game, looking at Pornhub, whatever, not doing much of anything important. And there comes a knocking at the door, and I'm like, oh my. So I get up, and I'm like, I hastily put on some like shorts and whatnot, and I go to the door and I open it up, and there's a police officer just standing there on my porch staring at me. And I was like, "Can I help you, officer?" And he stares at me and I was kind of getting a little nervous, and he goes, "Hey, Tucker, it's me, Glenn." I was like, "Oh, I saw your window light on and thought I'd stop by and say hi." And I'm like, "Oh." He did that on purpose, too. I didn't check on you for this one, Jesse, because it didn't sound anything at all like you. I checked on Mom and on Courtney because with the recent worldwide crises, they were my first compromised immune system thoughts that I had. Allegedly.
Did you watch Out of Shadows Official? No, I don't have a TV.
You don't have a TV, Mom?
No.
Probably a smart move. There's a reason we called them the boob tube.
I don't want a TV. Will Tucker be at the camping trip if it happens this year? Yes, he will. He lives there.
I will be doing my absolute best. Some of it depends upon whether or not we start getting our holiday and paid time off back. Where I work is running out of funds, and so we're not accruing PTO until this crisis is over. But they haven't laid anybody off, so doing pretty well.
Oh, you're going to go see Ginger Graves tomorrow? That's awesome, Bob.
Does Ginger Graves know? Get a little Frank action?
TVs are overrated, definitely, Priscilla. If I want to watch news or anything, if I want to watch anything, I just look it up on the computer. Anything I want to watch, I watch on the computer, but I haven't watched a movie or anything like that for so many years. I mostly watch fish stuff and I watch the news, and there's a few other shows that I watch. Yeah, Derek's going to come. There's actually quite a few people coming this year if we don't have to cancel it.
You and me both, hat trick.
Out of the Shadows Official? Huh. What's it about? Yeah, Priscilla's going to come up for it. Yeah, Tucker lives in Billings, and the camping trip is in Billings. So last year
I exist at Billings.
I'm curious as to what Frank is up to that would make the neighbors scream. I know he's an old alcoholic. I have no idea.
Wyoming's Night Stalker is just kind of drunkenly stumbles around. Hey, down the wormhole, say hello to your gecko for me, please.
Yeah, I haven't had a TV for at least 20 years. Oh, it's a documentary? Huh? If I get a chance, I'll have to look it up. I don't usually watch real long stuff because I must be arting.
She has the attention span of a squirrel, is what she's saying.
Yeah. Hello, World Aquarium Singapore. How are you?
My wife and I have been watching Forensic Files so that we know exactly how to murder each other if either of us are ever able to afford life insurance. Because that's all that show is. It's just the spouse did it, there was a love triangle, and somebody took out life insurance. Oh, and sorry if I'm like bebopping to music you guys can't hear. I'm listening to music you guys can't hear. cover for Marilyn Manson and Rob Zombie? Psycho Killer? Yes. If you're talking about Psycho Killer by the Talking Heads, that would be an excellent song for Rob Zombie to cover. And I agree with Jesse. I despise commercials with a passion that's almost holy in its blind fury. That's the main thing that stops me from doing anything other than Netflix. I actually pay for Spotify for that reason, because there's nothing more offensive than like when you're listening to Beethoven or like John Lee Hooker, and then the next thing you know, you're listening to a 30-second ad for fucking shoes. I don't even know what shoes I'm wearing. I don't care about shoes. Don't give me ads for shoes. Get some shoes. Oh, yep, now I gotta listen to Psycho Killer.
I like nature shows, yeah.
Murder documentaries are nature shows if you think about it in a certain light.
Oh, it's not a conspiracy theory thing, is it? I hate conspiracy theories.
Grizzly Man. Any Genghis Khan pictures to show? I do, but I don't know how to put them up on the live feed. My wife and I went to the Temujin exhibit at the Rocky Mountain Museum of Natural History last year, and saw some Mongolian throat singers do a performance and all that jazz. Genghis Khan is one of my favorite stories of history. Favorite thing about Genghis Khan? That every person who joined his clans and whatnot, he viewed as a relative. So he would show up at these places like other cities and whatnot, and he'd send a messenger out with a message saying like, hey, join us or we're going to sack your town. And the standard back then for a lot of cultures was to decapitate the messenger and send back their headless body. And he would get livid because that was like basically you just killed his cousin, and he would just wipe out entire cities because they pissed him off like that. The other thing that I really liked is that he was betrayed by noblemen on the Chinese border, and so after that he started just summarily executing every nobleman in cities, and then he'd pick like a farmer or a blacksmith or something to just take over. Like, hey, you, what do you do? I grow turnips. Well, you're in charge now, because noblemen are shit.
Okay, good night, Danikin. Kaylor's picking up some baby axolotls. I wish I could get some, but I know Ginger doesn't want to mail any. And I really, if I get any, I want a female, and they'd be too little to tell if they're male. I know I've been practicing social distancing a lot for the last year since I quit my job and started doing nothing but my art. But it's stupid because I'm kind of anxious, I guess would be a good word, with the whole thing going on. And it's like I don't go anywhere anyway. But when I do go out, I have to go to the post office. I gotta put a mask on, take some rags along because I don't have any hand sanitizer, so I take like wash rags with soap and water in a baggie. Wash my hands real good when I come out. Not take my mask off till I'm done in town. And when I get home, I like take off my coat and take off my clothes and take a shower. And it's just this huge thing just to go to the post office. I mean, it's
The
just
process. Don't touch your face.
I don't go outside. I don't see anybody. Oh, I just talked to some cops a little while ago, huh? But they were standing like he knocked on the door, and then they were all three outside and keeping their distance from me.
Yeah, in case you like had like coughed on them or threw Frank.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that it's compulsory there to wear a mask. I actually think that's a very good idea. We're taking similar measures at the hospital I work at. Whenever we're on hospital property, everyone has to wear a mask, period.
When I went to town, last time I went to town, there was like, I stopped at the grocery store and got, because I didn't have any veggies, so I stopped and got some veggies. And the grocery store wasn't super crowded, but there was quite a few people there. And there was one other lady wearing a mask. And the people at work there were wearing masks. But other than that, nobody was wearing a mask.
It's been interesting going out to the stores and whatnot, because that's the way it is like some of the people were wearing masks, some of the people are not wearing masks, and both parties look at the other party like they're an idiot.
Mm-hmm.
I also have been having issues because I'm not by nature a friendly looking person at times, and so I try to make eye contact with people out in public, and then I smile to let them know I'm harmless. But with no mask, I'm just like people, just giving them an eyeball, giving one of my villainous like. Good night, Jenny.
Night, Jenny.
She sent me Death Wish coffee for Christmas. I am forever in her debt.
Oh, nice. I got some of that one time.
Yeah.
It was good coffee.
It was Valhalla Java, and I sincerely wish I still had some, because that was.
Oh, I love the Who. I love the Who. The Who are awesome.
Like the band or the World Health Organization?
The band.
It's funny you should say that, because I'm listening to the Guess Who at the moment. Yeah, these eyes.
It's different than the Who.
Yes.
Good morning, Sharpies. How are you? He's in England, so it's morning for him.
Good morning.
And for anybody who's joined recently, this is my son, Tucker.
Where? Oh. Yeah. These eyes.
That's true, Dragon Lair. That's very true. I saw something on Facebook the other day where someone was laughing and said, you see the totally stupid people driving in a car by themselves with a mask on. Hi, Chevy Fish. And I was like, I had to answer him, because I was like, okay, so if I go to town and say I'm going to the post office, like I did the other day, I went to the post office and the grocery store. I put the mask on before I go in the post office. I'm not going to touch it and take it off when I still have another stop to make. So I'm going to drive in my car with the mask on over to the grocery store and then get out at the grocery store with the mask on, because you don't want to be constantly, it defeats the purpose of the mask if you're constantly taking it off and on. Right?
We are not related to Genghis Khan. I was called Genghis Tucker by my friends because I'm an educated barbarian. Sorry if that caused confusion. And yeah, with the masks, I think one of the best things they do when you're out in public is they prevent you from touching your face, because you go to and you're like, oh, there's a mask there. And like that's the big one. Like I keep hand sanitizer in my vehicle. I don't worry very much when shopping. I just make sure to sanitize my hands afterwards.
Yeah, I put my mask on. I don't wear gloves, but I put my mask on. I don't have any hand sanitizer, but like I said, I keep a wet rag with soap on it in a baggie, and I wipe my hands off when I get back to the car. But I'm not going to take my mask off unless I'm done for the day with it. You know what I mean? And then I'll take it off and set it beside me, but I'm not touching the mask until I'm done with it.
I'll be honest, at work, the moment I'm not within 6 feet of a coworker, I take my mask off. But I spend most of my time looking at my own computer, so. And I do wear PPE gloves and sanitize frequently when processing emergency room charts.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Gloves are especially pointless if you put gloves on, which I've done before, by the way. Put gloves on, shuffled paperwork, and then like scratch my nose. And was like, ah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't worry about gloves, because if you go in a store and you got gloves on and you touch everything, it's having it on your gloves is the same thing as having it on your hands. You know what I mean? So what's the point? If you reach up and open up your door with the gloves on, then anything that was on your gloves is now on your door handle. If you have bare hands and you reach up and open up your door, it's the same thing. So I don't worry about the gloves. Should we give away the last card now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the last card for the night is a couple of little elk calves laying in the grass. I don't know if you guys can see it there. You can see it kind of, right? Okay, so that's what we're going to give away now. I'm going to write down a number. And anybody who's new and doesn't know the rules, I write down a number and you guess one number, and whoever comes closest without going over wins the card. You get one guess apiece. I can send it anywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. And good point, Jesse. And that's it. I think that's all the rules. But it doesn't matter where you live, because I just drop it in an envelope, and I've got a bunch of stamps for out of the country and in the country, so I don't care. So I'm going to write down a number. And the number is between 1 and 50.
Let's hear your numbers. 1 and 50. 1 and 50. Do we have 1 through 50? Hey, Torm. Hey, kitty.
So numbers between 1 and 50, and go ahead. Between 1 and 50.
Sharpies. Mr. Zen, it's between 1 and 50. Guess a different number. Them's the rules.
Between 1 and 50 means it's below 50.
And he wagered below me. Below me. I don't get it. I'm sure you don't, Trebek. Come on, kitty. Don't just whine. You got legs. Come on. Come on, Tubbins McTubberson. Come on.
Okay, is everybody done? I'm going to type stop. Okay, and the number's 28. And I'm not sure who got it, so we'll have to look.
28. Teresa's at 24. Damn you, Sharpies. Hat Trick Farm at 27. So far, the closest without going over.
Oh, yeah, that's close.
And that appears to be the closest.
Yep, that looks like that's it. So
Hat Trick Farm at 27.
So let me write that down. And you need Hat Trick Farm. You need to send me your mailing address.
307 Wyoming gets it.
Huh?
Oh, I made a Sean Connery, Alex Trebek joke.
Okay. Okay, so let me put in my email address and copy and paste my email address because if you misspell it, it will not go through. And tonight, anyway, send me your address so that I can get them because I'll be sending all the cards out Monday morning. And congratulations.
Yeah, grats, Hat Trick. So 2 things I've noticed doing this this live stream, because I've never done one before. This is a first for me. Is that one? There's a little thing that says you're in the show. Everyone can see and hear you, and I appreciate that constant reminder. I should be terrified. And the other thing is that from this day on, I will always put on my resume that I'm a cam girl.
Okay.
That's the pen is mightier, Mr. Connery. Ah, I know what it says, Quebec. Shabot. Oh, there's still a goat. Yeah, I did the same thing, Big D Smoke. I put cherry shrimps into one of my tanks and just had them in there. And then one day I looked in there, I was like, "There's a ghost shrimp in here. There hasn't been a ghost shrimp in this in like 6 months." Most of the ghost shrimp I get, though, I put in the tank that you see behind me, and the angelfish done snatch them up.
Okay, so if nobody has any other questions, we might wrap it up here. Tucker the cam girl, yeah.
Yeah. Put on a little show. Maybe greet you when you get home. Hey there, neighbor. No, I seriously had a like the Uber Eats, an Uber Eats delivery guy that like just creeped my friend and I the hell out because like I'm not really afraid of people, but this guy comes up and he knocks on the door and we go to get our food and he's like, "Hey there, I hope you enjoy your meal, friend." I hope you really like it. We're like, oh, he poisoned our food. He's gonna slice our nipples off and make a belt. Good night, Holly.
Good night, everybody. I'll go ahead and wrap it up. Good night, Bob. Good night, Candy.
This has been a load of fun. Thank you all for the wonderful experience. I hope you have a wonderful night. I hope to see some of you guys on a camping trip.
Hopefully we'll have a camping trip. I'm hoping I got it set for the 13th, 14th, and 15th. I think is the dates, but yeah.
A lot of things are finger crossed right now.
Yep.
Business as unusual.
Yep. So we'll have to see how it goes. Hopefully by the middle of September, it will be okay. For a while, they say it's going to come back in the fall. But, well, Trump says it's not coming back, but the scientists say it's going to come back in the fall. So, yeah. So, good night, everybody. Thank you for putting up with us. Night.
I'll miss you.
And
Think of me when you shower.